Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Sorry for the little mishap there. The VODs got deleted that I thought I had.
No, you're totally good. It happens from time to time. I'm
Yeah,
glad you were able
honestly,
to find some
they're
backups.
gone. I'm glad they're gone. Some crazy Luigi bullshit went on in those anyway, so
Okay.
yeah,
Wait, you're
it's
saying
best
it
for
was
the
it was
world not to
it,
see.
wa- it was Falco versus Luigi?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see.
A lot of misfires, a lot of misfire edge cancels, a lot of
I still would have liked to
invisible
watch
ceiling.
that. So hopefully another time you can find some some
Yeah, I'd
other
love your
Luigi.
perspective on Luigi because Coin, who's on the PR here, he's really good and
Mm-hmm.
can beat all the Falcos here. Um, so it's pretty impressive. But and I was hoping to get your insight, but maybe next time. He goes to like
Yeah.
every weekly, so I'm sure I'll get more VODs.
Okay. That sounds good. Okay, so what are we gonna be going over today?
Um, I wanted to pick your brain about like just like tournament mentality for a few minutes, and then I found some replacement VODs. So instead of Luigi, it's just Fox, but I'm still kind of struggling with. Last time we kind of talked more about um, my lack of combo game and edge guarding.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think my neutral is really lacking too. So I was hoping to focus more on the neutral. So I sent you a set of me versus hacks because I ran into him on unranked, and he kind of like I feel like kind of dismantled the neutral on me.
Mm-hmm.
And then also a couple games versus a local Fox player here who is like at my skill level.
Okay.
Um, but for tournament mentality, so I don't know. Basically, every time I mean, I got second a lot of tournaments this season, and like every
Mm-hmm.
not like I'm like, all right, well, I'm just this is motivates me to. I just get really pissed, and it almost makes me want to stop playing sometimes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, a good way to frame it. I watched this YouTube video a couple weeks ago, and it was like the child psychology experiment thing,
Okay.
and they like had a class of like 50 students, and they were like 8 years old or something, and they cut the class in half and put them in different rooms, and they gave both groups the same like test thing, and the only difference was one group they told the kids, um, wow, you did so good on that because you are really smart. You guys are really smart. You solved that really easily. And then the other group, they said, wow, you guys did so great on that. You guys worked really hard. You did well because you worked hard. And then the next day, they gave them something that was like an actually hard challenge. Like I think they gave them like a Rubik's Cube or something.
Mm-hmm.
And the group who was told that they worked hard when they were a kid, like just they just solved the Rubik's Cube. They like just worked on it for hours. And
Mm-hmm.
then the kids who were told they were smart, they just gave up after like 5 minutes because they thought they were too stupid to be able to do the Rubik's Cube because they weren't able to immediately do it. And
Mm-hmm.
I am 100% the kid who was told that he was smart when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just not really ingrained in my brain. Like, just the neurons are not firing when I like lose close, or it's just more like disappointment and like frustration than it is like a motivation to keep going. Even though I want to, like in the back of my mind, like I know I want to get better at this game, but like in the moment, and it takes me a few days to like get over it, but I just really want to stop playing. But on the flip side, I don't know. I see you like on your Twitter and stuff, like you're doing all this shit, like you're practicing ping pong for hours, you're like making your game, you're a top player, and you seem to really enjoy like this long-term motivation, like the grind, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering, like, was that natural for you? Did you like develop that over time, or like were you sort of my way at one point and then you like learned to be a different way, or I don't know, what would you say to somebody like me who just like really struggles with like I want to be more like you in that sense, but
Mm-hmm.
it's just really tough for me. So I just wondering if you
Yeah,
had any
I
advice
think
on that.
so. I don't think it was ever for me like, oh, I was like called smart as a kid, and then that made me feel like I didn't have to work as hard. Maybe it is true, and I just didn't really ever realize it or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Um, the important thing is to realize, and I think this is really what changed my perspective, is just that, like, if you're better, you'll win. And I think that because sometimes people can play like worse in tournament, like you can like choke in tournament or whatever, it creates this feeling that you can also like go the other way, and that you can also just like win by playing better than your opponent, in the sense that like you're just having like a really good day, like you're just thinking really clearly and you're reacting fast, and you feel like this is the fully realized version of yourself playing Melee. Like that is basically like a fantasy that comes about, I think, because we feel like the choking, and we feel like there should be like a counterpart to that where we just like pop off and play insane. And it's just like not a thing. Like if you're smart or you're good or whatever, it's because you're good at improving. Like it's because you're good at fixing problems with your gameplay and practicing the most relevant things you need to practice and stuff like that. It's not about like you versus your opponent. Like it feels like you versus your opponent in the moment, but maybe the easiest way to think about it is like a foot race, where it's kind of like, yeah, like you could trip and fall while you're running, but you're never going to like suddenly run way faster. Like you can kind of either run your fastest, and that is kind of like the speed that you run, or maybe you trip and fall or run slower, sure. But like your fast speed is kind of just your speed, like the speed that you can go. And to get a faster speed, you just need to like train and spend time. You're not going to like be able to race somebody who can run faster than you and just like just really push it and run as fast as you can and then beat them that day. That's just not physically how the world works. And it's the same way in Melee. It's the same way in any other topic where like if somebody is beating you, it is because they have better patterns built into their brain. You could be choking or whatever, and if that's the case where you just start playing really awful, then that is like a totally separate skill. It's the same idea where you have to come back and keep improving it, but it's a separate skill from like playing at a decent level in tournament. You're never going to play your absolute peak in tournament most of the time, but playing like pretty decent in tournament is like a skill. And then once you can get that, like you just sort of need to improve and then beat them. It just doesn't reflect on you at all to win or lose. Like I know it feels like, oh, I like double jumped and then they read my high double jump, so I just feel like, you know, mentally like destroyed. I wish I was smarter, and I wish I predicted they were going to read the double jump and I went low or something like that. Like your brain will kind of like feel that, but it's not real. Like they're just doing mix-ups and you're doing mix-ups, and the person with like higher value and better execution will just win in the end. And so you just have to separate yourself from like the win-loss being about like the way you played that day. It's just about how much you've stacked relative to them. It's like, why do I win Verdugo every week, you know? It's not because every week I show up and I play a 10 out of 10 and everybody else plays an 8 out of 10 or whatever. It's just because I'm literally better at the game than the other people who attend most of the time. Not all the time. But, like, the reason I win consistently at the local is just because I'm like, okay, like, literally my gate, like, when I sit down and I just don't really think too hard and I just press buttons on the controller, that beats the other person doing the same thing. And I don't know, I think definitely just the biggest thing for me was feeling like when I lost in tournament that I could have won if I played better, but I didn't, so I failed. And I would beat myself up for that as like the day of the tournament. But now when I lose, I realize that unless I did like the thing where I didn't eat or something, literally, like, or I didn't sleep, or like if there's some major physical problem with my body, it's like, oh, I haven't drank a cup of water in 10 hours, and then you play really bad or something like that, then like, yeah, you're gonna like play extra bad that day. Like, it does sometimes happen that you just play really bad, but usually the reason why you're losing is not because of the tournament day. You're losing because of the previous weeks and months where you did not gather as much in your pile of gameplay stuff as they did. And so it's all about just like separating your in the moment self and just being like, when you lose, you didn't train well enough, you didn't train hard enough, you didn't train the right things, figure out what those things are, train them for next time, you'll probably win.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I just get really caught up in the moment, but I know like in the long run, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's like your body will get, heated up, like the adrenaline's pumping, like you do really want to win, and it does really stink to lose. But like for me, the pain never comes immediately after losing. Like the frustration, the anger, that doesn't come like, it's not like the second I lose, I'm just like, no, I'll lose and I'll be like, fine, whatever, and I'll walk away, and then my brain will be like, you should have hit that combo, and I'm like, no, shut up, brain, and it's like, oh, you shouldn't have jumped into that back air, and I'm like, no, and like your brain will kind of like torture you about it, and you just have to, like, those feelings and thoughts will happen, and you just have to channel them into like, okay, I'll practice this. And your brain's like, yeah, well, you didn't do this. Like, how could you be so stupid? It was obvious you shouldn't have shined there. And you'll be like, okay, so next time in that spot, I'll make sure to back air. I'm going to go home. I'm going to practice that spot in Oko Punch and make sure I learn to back air there. And you just have to, like, every time your brain gives you that, like, painful thought, painful feeling, just slow down, take a breath, and just repeat, like, okay, I'm going to go home. I'm going to make a replay or whatever. I'm going to practice that thing. And you get yourself in that habit, and eventually, like, I don't know, man, like, all I'm saying is, like, lately, like, my last, like, year or something of playing, like, maybe not even a year, maybe, like, the last 6 to 8 months of playing is, like, when I lose, it doesn't hurt that much. Like, I lose, and I'm like, man, I've lost. My brain is like, yeah, well, you should have done this thing, and I'm like, well, that's true, man, yeah, if I did that thing, I would probably just, like, won that game, huh? And it's like, yeah, and you should have done this thing, and I'm like, yeah, that too, man. I kind of should have just 3-0'd him, huh? Like, all right, I'm just going to go home and implement that, and the next time I'll 3-0 him. And, like, that's...
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I have the same kind of mental struggle, but I don't do what you do afterwards.
And I'm telling you, I spent, like, a decade not doing that, and just, like, not sleeping for 3 days, being like, I should have hit that. Oh, why didn't I hit that? Like... And it's just like, you learn to do this channeling exercise, and I swear taking the breath helps so much. Like, we just, like, one slow breath, and you're just like, okay, gonna go home and practice it, and it's just a practice thing. And when you kind of accept it, and you turn it into a thing for practice, you'll feel that your brain takes it off, like, the anger pile, and puts it on the, like, work-to-do pile. And it's just sort of like a habit you have to practice, and it'll hurt a lot at first, and the more you do it, the better you'll get at it, and it won't hurt as much. And now I'm at a point where when I lose, it's like, yeah, it's frustrating, I go to bed that night, I always feel a little empty after I lose. Like, I can't help it. Like, it's literally just the chemicals in my body. It's like I got, like, rejected by a girl or something. It's like this feeling of, like, oh, and, like, you can't shake that feeling, like, physically, but then, like, you cannot let your brain heat up and, like, torture you over it. And then usually when I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, all right, I'll go and I'll practice the stuff I wrote down, like, literally. It's just turning it into a grind rather than, like, something that, like, basically when you lose, don't think to yourself, like, I should have won that, Just be like, I could have won that if I did these different things, but clearly, like, there's a reason why you didn't do those other things, and it's because your brain was not adequately prepared to respond to the stimuli with that response. Because when you grind out the same pattern over and over again, there's plenty of pieces in the game, even the ones where you're like, I should have hit that. There's plenty of things where you should have hit and you did. Like, you hit a shine, and then you hit a shine, and then you tech chase on the platform or whatever, and you're just like, la la la, like, that's totally normal. And it's like, yeah, because you practiced it, and your brain just does that now automatically. But then people focus on the edge. They focus on, like, the stuff that they hit sometimes, but not other times. And then in tournament, they don't hit it. And they're like, man, there was that one day, like, a week ago where I was playing my friends at 2 a.m. and I hit that every time straight for half an hour. And it's like, yeah, that's not enough consistency. that like under tournament pressure you can be confident that you'll hit it every time, you know. So you just got to break it down into the factors that contribute in terms of like training and structuring and like long term, and just not think about like you in the moment didn't really have a choice. Like it, you know, like it's kind of like a deterministic thing for me is like whatever you practiced comes out, and when it loses you're like, oh man, it's unfortunate, got to get better at that.
Yeah, I feel like I did a similar thing where I just kind of like let the negative energy fester and then just didn't, but I just didn't do anything with it. And maybe if I just like get myself to get into the habit of like being like, okay, brain, fine, I'll go practice X, Y, and Z. It'll like give me some peace of mind and it won't make it feel so bad.
Oh, also, you want to know a trick I got from Zane? When
Sure.
you lose, immediately watch the VOD. If you have a VOD.
Okay.
Like within 5 minutes. Like I literally like have walked off the stage at a major and been really upset, and you just walk off stage and you just sit down, or like, you know, walk off your, you know, walk off the stream setup or whatever setup, and you just go back, you look at your VOD, and you just watch through it. And there's so many points where I'll be like, yeah, and here's the point where that's stupid, and I'm like, oh, I just totally like messed up there and I got hit. And I'm like, yeah, and there's that one spot where this, oh, like that happened because like, why did I roll into the corner there? Like, of course. And it's just like, it turns it into actual mistakes rather than like, you as a person suck, you as a person suck, you know, like.
Yeah.
And like the actual
oh, yeah, it objectifies it. Yeah.
yeah, it objectifies it, and then you're just like, ah, like I actually feel 100 times better if I watch my loss immediately. And I don't think it's necessarily like 100% a necessity to do that. It actually just like you can tough it out and think it through and watch it later, but it actually is just like a ripping the band-aid off feeling, and you feel like free afterward.
Yeah.
You feel so much better afterward, I promise.
Maybe a little bit less with Luigi because actual bullshit happens, but for
No,
most of them,
no, it's still worth
No?
it, because you'll just watch and you'll be like, oh, that was just BS. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like when you see it happen, it just hits different from like playing it. And a lot of times you'll be like I said, a lot of times you'll like remember the BS and you'll be like, yeah, the BS is definitely, here it is. It's right here when he does it. And you're like, oh, I could have covered that if I just did this. Like literally that's me like every time. I'm like, oh, that stupid thing. And then, oh, no, it was my fault here. And so just like the repeated perspective will just give you so much insight, and like your brain can't make stuff up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, because you're just watching it. And for me, a lot of times it's like, you know, like watching your own VODs a lot of times, especially after you lose or you know you lose a set, it's gross. You're like, oh, no, oh, don't look at that, you know? And like I feel like that's kind of how my brain responds. But right after the set, when I lose and I'm mad, my brain is so attentive. I'm just watching, like, where did it go wrong? Where? What happened?
True,
you know?
you're very productive.
Yeah, no, it's crazy productive.
The adrenaline.
You lose, and yeah, and my brain's just like, fine, I'll do this differently, and then I'm like, all right, I need to go find somebody who plays this character, and I'll walk around, like, look for them, like, all right, you know. It's seriously just like, that is like the way.
I'm squandering my best opportunity to learn when I'm fucking pissed.
Yes, literally, yes. And that is what I learned from my SSS days, where I used to get second all the time in 2014 and with stuff like that. It's just like, yeah, getting mad about it, like, just means you thought you deserved it. But a lot of times, if you lose, you don't deserve it. And a lot of times people are like, well, I deserve it because of this effort or because of this time. And it's like, no, like if you deserved it, you'd win. Clearly the time needs to be spent better, or you need to be doing something different, you know?
Mm-hmm. That was insightful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm
glad.
definitely
Hopefully it helped.
take that. Your first major piece of advice was for me to eat. I did that.
Yes, I'm glad that worked out. Also, randomly got me a bunch of like publicity or something. Like people just are always asking me now. They're like, "How'd you know that guy was hungry?" I'm like, "Dude, come on!" Like,
I was like, was fiction there or something? How do you know I was hungry? But yeah, no, I like actually just kind of won a tournament after that. Like I incorporated your advice from Falco Dittos because I won a Falco Ditto to win the local, and then I like ate some food there, and I was like, yeah, that's
Yeah,
hell
no,
yeah.
recently I had an issue with the other guy I'm trying to help with tournament stuff, and like, he's like, yeah, I just run out of energy at the same point in every single tournament, and it was all frustrating for him. And so I was going through the checklist of like, all right, food, sleep, water, and then he's like, oh, that's true. I never drink water during a tournament, like a 6-hour bracket. Like, huh? I always just wait until after. And then I'm like, yeah, and then after you're always playing better in the friendlies after, right? He's like, oh yeah. And then he started drinking water, and it's just the energy issue just goes away immediately. So it's just it's just funny. It's very easy to forget about the physical state when you're so focused on playing the game.
Well, yeah, and it takes somebody like you who's like had so much experience with this exact specific thing that you would even think. Like if you go to a therapist, they'd be like, I don't know, man. Like you just got to do whatever you got to breathe. I don't know.
Right, but you're just like no.
Actually...
like I know exactly what it's like to lose from being hungry. I've done it 100 times.
Yeah, it's like an actual visual. You're like, yeah, this guy's hungry. I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it in his gameplay.
All right, so now I think that was a good discussion.
Fox now.
And yeah, we can go over some Fox stuff. I almost wish before even watching this, I actually did a really good Falco Fox lesson yesterday, where I just went over like the best way to laser in the matchup. Ooh. And I think that would probably be a useful one. It's not up on YouTube yet, but it is up on Twitch. I got to do some uploads soon. So I recommend maybe checking that out later if we don't go over the same stuff today.
Okay.
But, okay. I think it was with Lamb. I think that was the lesson that I did. Okay.
Alright, I'll look out for it.
Yeah. Let's see. Insane full hop shine. That was crazy. This is... Okay, so... Obviously, the double laser video type thing. You gotta be really careful, especially on Yoshi's. Yoshi's does not have any, like, margin for error that, like, after this laser, you can't, like, chill for a second like this. Like, if you chill like this, and they feel like being an aggro Psycho Fox, they're literally already here with their Nair. Like, they're just gonna be on top of you. It's kind of like, it's kind of like, like when you're really in tight with someone, you need to get, like, shield, wave dash out of shield, like, shine, like, there's a lot of precision, right? And I get the sense that even just looking at this, just maybe, you might, when you're a little bit further away with the lasers, maybe feel a little bit comfier, like your options don't have to be quite as precise. And that's true in a lot of cases, but on Yoshi's, it's specifically, like, if you have any sort of leeway in your frame data between your lasers, you'll just get eaten alive.
Yeah.
Just something
I think it's worth noting this is actually my third set that day, first hacks. I just ran it like 3 times, so I think that kind of affect, like, the neutral's already developed here, kind of, so I'm already terrified of his perfect inputs.
Well, the counter is to do, perfect lasers. Because
I don't get that.
Because the thing is like, it's like if you don't even need to do, like, the most perfect lasers, but having it pretty frame tight, like, no matter how, they're playing on box and super cracked and they're just crazy fast, they're still limited by, like, Fox. Like, they're limited by the amount that Fox can move and the range of his moves and stuff like that. Like, think about, like, if you're... I don't know, like, if you're Mango and people are like, oh, super scared of Mango's aerials, but, like, Falco literally cannot make it to the location in time to hit someone, it doesn't matter if it's Mango or you or a day one player. Falco physically cannot make it there. So you want to, don't think so hard about, like, what the Fox is capable of as much as, like, even if they've shown it to you, like, oh, I'm so fast and snappy, it's like, you just need to be confident knowing that those lasers are enough to keep him out. Okay. And Fox is so stupid on the ledge on this stage, it's absurd. You actually need to play this further back. It's really upsetting. You need to be literally, like, slightly past the center line on the top plat. And a lot of times what you're going to end up doing is Fox will be here and he'll kind of ledge dash and you'll either, like, waveland off. You can go and waveland off this side plat over here and get, like, a turnaround laser, or you can go up to top plat and come down with a laser. A lot of times you're not going to be able to maintain a comfortable grounded position. This is the only stage, maybe FD, maybe. This is the only stage where I feel like it's possible that Fox has like an edge, like a 55-45 edge on Falco, and it's specifically because the ledge play is so ridiculous. You can mitigate it, but it takes specific effort on this stage to like... It's like when Fox grabs edge, he's not at a disadvantage. If anything, I feel like I'm at a slight disadvantage because he can cover almost the entire stage. Like, Fox can up smash, like, here. Like, invincibly. Yeah. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. So just be prepared when he grabs ledge that you're not going to get to, like, hold him in corner. That's not, like, a thing on this stage. It's too zippy. Like, his laser land here and the wave dash, it's way too strong. Once he grabs ledge... Just assume he basically owns the left half of the stage, excluding the top platform.
Okay.
It's really upsetting, but I especially against KJH, who's just like a ledge dash fiend, and I've played him a lot, and it's literally like ledge dash short hop nair, run to the other side, go to ledge dash full hop nair, go to the other side, and it's just like, dude, like, and so the way to beat it is just. It's never going to hit me ever, and I'll laser you every now and then, and we'll just keep playing the slow game. And like, you know, eventually maybe Fox will just miss a ledge dash, and you'll get a stock. But you got to be really careful, because, yeah, he can just zoom out here past the laser way further than he should be able to.
Yeah, and he got me.
Mm-hmm. And, on this, I really like, on this stage, I don't like this down air here. I either like the ledge dash or the double jump laser land. Not like, he doesn't have like the invincible laser land like Fox does. Like, yeah, he does, but it's so frame tight, you're usually not going to get it. But like, if you do it close enough to perfect, Fox is a lot of times not going to really want to challenge it. So like, double jump laser land, and then I do like shield drop down air a lot of times, like laser land, shield.
Double jump laser land.
Hmm?
I've never...
just
double jump and laser land?
Yeah, just double jump and then laser, and your laser barely comes out, and then I do like shield drop down air, and it hits everybody and their brother every time. So there's that.
I do like waveland shield drop down air, but I never thought of laser land.
Yeah, no, I think the laser is a lot better because if they try to full hop from over here, the laser hits them. So, and a lot of times they'll try to jump up into me, and the laser hits them, and then I'll get like my shield drop down air and get like a nice starter here. I've gotten so many openings off this laser, double jump laser shield drop down air. It's like absurd. Like, I would say, you know, like that feeling you get like when you full hop and then you come down and then they just kind of run underneath you and get down aired. That's like this feeling. It's just like double jump laser shield drop down air, and everybody just gets hit, and I don't know why, but it's a little. I know what it's like to play against. It's not fun because you're like, man, I kind of want to punish it, but I can't really, and then he's already on top of you. So like, I would say...
Does that only work on Yoshis?
Kind of, yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure that specific one only works on Yoshis. I think it might be possible on Battlefield, but, like, it's a lot less ambiguous, I think. And so I don't think it's as good. But I don't know for 100% sure if maybe if you were perfect you could do it on some other stage or something, but I mostly use it just here, and I'll use it on Fountain, depending on like the way the platforms are situated.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. That sounds good though.
Yeah, so it's mad good. Double jump laser, shield drop down air, or the ledge dash is like super OP here for Falco, because it's kind of like if Fox abuses his Yoshi's ledge dashes but you don't, there's not really a reason for you to not abuse yours, you know? And so,
what's your like go-to move out of ledge dash? Do you like ledge dash turn around up tilt?
Shine.
Oh, shine.
Yeah, like every time. Like,
I think I feel like I just ledge dash shield.
No, ledge dash, dash, jump, shine around here, double jump to top plat is like crazy nasty. Like any sort of like. And it's the same with Fox. Like, ledge dash, JC shine is his best ledge dash option. But, like, it's like, basically you get ledge dash, you get some form of a shine, and then you get to the platform. Nice and simple.
Okay.
Ledge dash up tilt, kind of bad. Uh, it's like
Noted.
the ledge dash up tilt is useful as a punish. Like if like I don't know, like you go to ledge and Fox somehow thought you were gonna be on stage, so he like whiffed an up smash here, but you slid off. Then you might ledge dash, and then like depending on the percent, like let's say he's at like 100, maybe you ledge dash up tilt. You know, so ledge dash up tilt does have its uses, but like the overwhelming majority of the time, you should just shine because you're safe after the shine if you jump away. So yeah, those are the two options I want you to mix up here: the ledge dash and the double jump laser land, or like laser. It's not really like a laser land, like the no impact land type thing. It's just like double jump laser to platform, pretty much. But yeah, the double jump down air here is like it's not even gonna knock down or anything. Never do short hop aerial off of a platform to the ground without dash momentum. Because the dash momentum gives you, like, you can go here, you can drift back, you have all these ways to, like, do drift mix-ups. Whereas, like, with shield jumping here, like this, it's just so predictable. Like, I would have grabbed this 10 times out of 10 as Fox. It just seems, like, overwhelmingly simple to hit. And, remember when Fox is on the platform, like this, I see. You tried to hard read him going to the top plat here.
Yeah, I try to do that a lot, and I feel like it's not really good.
Yeah, so this is actually kind of good, but you have to read it with shine.
Yeah, I just read it with down air. I do like a rising down air.
Yeah, and it's just like, remember, the down air doesn't knock down yet. So, like, maybe at knockdown percent, this would have a little bit more. But even if you're going to do that, I would rather you do, like, this. Like, rising down air to top plat is fine. Don't get me wrong. But you need to land on the top plat. Not, like, go over here, all the way over here like this. And then you kind of just go for this lazy, like, big come down air. A lot of times it's like when stuff goes... Okay, so ignoring the fact that you read top plat, I just want to be like, when Fox is here and you're here, people a lot of times feel like they need to make something happen, but you don't. You can just go to side plat and laser, and then drop low, and then drop down if Fox goes down, or go to top plat and play it out. Especially on Yoshi, so much of the match is going to revolve around, like, the platforms. So just, like, when Fox is on the side plat, you can't hit him, but he can't hit you, you know? And you got to keep that, like, evenness in mind, that, like, I don't know, you don't really need to hit Fox on this stage. Like, you don't really need to, like, try to go for him. Like, right here, I wouldn't have even probably gone for this running shine. It wasn't even a bad running shine, it's just because it's Yoshi's, like, he can either stay here and kind of be bad in the corner, or he can come to center, so, like, I'm just gonna be a lot more... Like, I just play on this stage very, like, center, like, top platform, central-oriented. And, like, I'm a lot less likely to approach here and a lot more likely to kind of just, like this. See how he kind of, like, wants this drift to center? Like, it's very difficult to prevent from... Like, it's very difficult for him to prevent, like, a sort of center movement here, which is why you can kind of just hold space and center a lot better than, like... trying to really attack Fox. Like, sort of think of it as like if you reach out and try to grab him, he can get out of your way, but it's a sort of small room, and so if you just kind of move around and keep holding the central area, eventually you'll sort of find a way that you can actually get in, like, a lot better.
Yeah, I feel like I always chase too much.
My rule is to literally never chase Fox. Like, I do not try to hit Fox. I exclusively let... Nice, that was sick. I exclusively let...
Me working on my combos.
Nice, yeah, no, that was really good. I exclusively let Fox, like, run into my moves. Down air here does not knock down. There's no reason to do it. Bad habit. Shield drop shine. I would, like... I basically input this shield drop shine no matter what here. Like, I just do it on, like, a timing. Because if he had aerialed me, that's the same timing for shield drop shine. And then if he does this waveland here, like, this isn't a very good mix-up for Fox, just because the same timing that beats, like, if he had nared you here and you shield drop shine him, beats this waveland shine. So just shield drop shine here, and it'll just beat both.
It beats waveland shine, and what else did you say?
Like, aerial. So, like, you're here,
aerial.
like, the reason you're shielding... So you do this down smash... So, like, you're shielding here, and then like if he nares you or something, you can just shield drop shine this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like the classic shield drop shine.
Yeah.
One sec. But then if he wave lands, it's just like the exact same timing and motion. Like you don't really have to react to whether he does the aerial or the wave land here. You can just be like, oh, that's the timing for shield drop shine, and it would have hit this. It just sort of invalidates like the wave land mix up there. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I chase way too much, and then
Mm-hmm.
when the fox decides to be aggressive, I'm really bad at stopping the aggression. I just get steamrolled, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Then I just end up chasing and hoping I get a hit, and then they just keep hitting me and I lose.
Right. Yeah, no, Fox is just kind of... Like, Fox sort of makes it so Falco can't approach him with, like, very little effort. Like, it doesn't take a lot as Fox to avoid Falco. But to avoid Fox as Falco, you kind of... I'm not going to say it's necessarily difficult once you get everything down, but it's kind of like a reaction test to everything of like, Fox does this, do you do the right option? And if any of these, and you're like, yes, and they're like, okay, now Fox does this, do you know the right option? And if you, at any point in there, do the wrong option, then Fox can just get in on you and like, kind of spam buttons, and it's not too bad because you always have a chance for like a CC or a reversal or power shield shine or something like that, but it's still not as good as like, you know, keeping him out. So whenever Fox sort of gets in on you and you weren't ready for it, that is like an opportunity to maybe check the VOD and figure out like what was the right response to that. For instance, like right here, this is like a really good example of Fox wants to get in on you like here, right? And so you know he's coming and you shield, but then like you try to do something and you just get drill shine. So
Right.
this is like an example of, in this matchup, when Fox is above you, the answer is never to fight unless you put Fox above you on purpose. So like if you hit Fox above you and he's coming down and you're right here and Fox is just like guaranteed to be right on top of you and you know that you can land like an up tilt or something like that, like basically when you're in an advantage state and Fox has no options but to come straight down on you, then yes, you can play Fox coming down on you mix-ups. But it needs to be a situation where you feel comfortable and a situation that you have put in place. If you're ever in a situation like this where Fox is above you, I just sort of have a hard rule. Never, like, don't let Fox be above you or, like, stay above you. He'll get above you, but don't let him remain above you. Because the longer he's above you, the more he gets, like, am I gonna drop? Am I gonna drop? You know, and you don't want that. So a nice easy answer is when Fox is above you and you didn't put him there, move horizontally. It doesn't really matter where, you just need to move horizontally. My favorite options are stuff like you can do dash wave dash to the opposite side of this top platform, or literally roll to the other side of the top platform. Or just dash dance for a split second, wave dash, whatever, just move around. It makes it so that Fox doesn't feel confident and is like falling on you type mix-ups. And it sort of like invalidates it, like, because he needs time to be like, I come all the way down, directly down onto Falco. And if you're just changing your horizontal position as soon as he's above you every time, he doesn't really have like a way to set up. Like notice that here, he sets up using this inner edge of the platform, or outer edge of the top platform here. He sets up using this edge because he's like confirmed your position right here. And so as soon as Fox is above you at any point, you just want to move. That's just horizontally. Just get out of the way, horizontally move. It happens a lot. You'll be here, and Fox will like full hop, or he'll full hop double jump, and he'll wave land off the thing. Always just roll or wave dash, get out of the way. It makes it, once you sort of get it down, it feels almost like this, like, you know, like as a kid, like chasing somebody like around a table.
Yeah.
It has that sort of feeling, and like it'll become automated to the point where like if a Fox is jumping around trying to fall on me, I can barely pay attention and basically never get dropped on without having to put in too much thought. Like, it's kind of just like, oh, fox is above me, move horizontally. Oh, fox is above me, move horizontally. And it's just sort of automatic the way it happens now. And it just sort of keeps you safe from fox forever. And he can no longer get these, like, haha, like, I just chill on the platform and then I come down with a mix-up and you're dead, you know?
Yeah. What's your deciding point? Because if you're always horizontally changing your position, when do you decide to actually try to equal your position to his and hit him, you know, as opposed to running around the table the entire time? What makes you change your mind?
So I want to be the one on top. I want Fox on the ground and me on the platform so that I can get, because it's kind of like, you know, Fox really likes these falling onto Falco mix-ups. Falco really likes the falling mix-ups. Like, if you think about it, across all of his matchups, Falco actually has very bad rising mix-ups. Like, he doesn't have... The only one he has that's good is Full Hop Shine. That's it. He doesn't... He's not very good at, like, oh, they're coming down on me, so I'll jump up and hit them with, like, my Marth up air. Or, like, he doesn't have, like, a Marth up tilt or something like that. He's kind of bad at, like, these rising mix-ups. But his falling mix-ups are insane. Like, the best in the game, right? Because he has falling down air, and he mixes that up with the laser, and that's, like, enough. Like, so the laser is something that comes out from falling. So you need to prioritize falling rather than, like, rising. And so a lot of times it's sort of this battle for the top platform, and so you just want to move and not let Fox really fall on you. And what you're looking for is, like, a position to take over the top platform. And there's this sort of spot. Alright, I'm going to go back to this in 1 second. I just want to show you really quick. Oh, 1 second. My controller is in my bag. 1 second. Okay. Alright, let me restart Dolphin really quick. Okay, so, and this isn't the exact same on every stage like it is on Yoshi's, but on Yoshi's it's just, like, the most pronounced. So the top platform is, like, where we want to get all of our strength from, because if I'm here and I just fall like this is, like, the strongest position ever. Because Fox doesn't want to be here. Because he's just going to get, like, oh, you know, like, he's going to get dropped, I'm going to nair, I'm going to pressure, or I'm going to down air, I'm going to pressure. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to get hit by, you know, shield drop down air. He doesn't want to get hit by runoff fast down air. So Fox is also going to be moving horizontally here, like, when I'm up on top plat. And if I come down with, like, a laser, like, this is so strong. Like, if Fox moves to the side and I come down like this position is nasty for me, right? Like, as Falco, you love, like, you're going to love having just this. Because he's just in the corner, and you come down, and you have this whole pressure, and it's like, sheesh, that's so strong as Fox. Like, you do not feel good having Falco dash in from that distance. And so, you have this super strong position off the top, but so does he. Where you're here, and you're like, and you're afraid he's going to run off and do these things, you know. But as long as, like, Fox kind of runs off like this, and then you just do this, or he comes off and you do this, and, you know, And then the other position on this stage that kind of is like the secret final position that solves the rest of the table issue is this. So if I stand here, I'm actually completely safe. There's nothing Fox can do from the top platform that'll hit me. Like, if he jumps over here, like he has this, like, he can do this to me, but, like, oops, 1 sec. Yeah. So I can sort of, like, defend myself with the lasers from here, or even do something like this, where, like, I'm kind of, like, pressuring, and he has a hard time, like, unless he hard reads me here, he's not a lot of times going to get it, and this sort of creates this pressure with just the high lasers. And this also works on Dreamland, surprisingly. but it doesn't work on Battlefield. So I have this kind of pressure here, and I can kind of use this to like move around, and I can, you can use these like late down air thing to kind of get like the platform warp. So you have kind of like a position where you can sort of play neutral, or even just like full hopping here is really strong, because you can full hop, and then you can come down with like a laser here. You can do a laser on the platform. You can come down with an aerial. You can even do stuff like this where you pressure like coming around. So there's a lot of ways for Falco to kind of deal with the top plat. Also, a lot of people don't know about this one. Down air shield pokes from below on the back.
That I do.
Yeah. So like, and this is also unreactable. Fox can't react to this because the top platform is so low. So there are ways, like Fox is not going to feel super comfortable. A lot of times I'll be here and I see Fox dashing and I'll do something like this, and then I'll do like this, and then, maybe I'll do that, or I'll just keep it safe here, I'll drop below. A lot of times when I do this, they'll go for, like I was showing you that thing before, where they go for like this, and it's like, I could just do, oops, yeah, like that, or just drop below and then, oh, free kill, or drop below and then, free kill. And so he doesn't really feel comfortable, like, or yeah, just literally do this and then try not to hit him with this laser. Oops. Like, he has a tough time approaching that spot, and you have a lot of ways that you can kind of use, like, lasers and stuff to pressure up here. And, unreactable shine stuff and stuff like that. You can even do, like, this jump where you do this. Instant double jump. So I'll do sometimes, like, and I'll do that, where I pressure, one more, drop pressure. And the goal is to end up in this position, right, where, like, I'm here, and then I just do this. And a lot of times Fox is going to be doing these dumb up airs here, but you can just short hop over those, and you can get a lot of stuff like this. Or, like, so, like, Fox will get like that, right? But then I'll just go like, oops, like this, or like, yeah, I'll be here, and you get that. Like, you can just short hop directly over this. So a lot of times I'll just get something like this, or like, I'll just get under it and get this. And so he doesn't really have as good of a way to pressure top plat as you do, and you also have more tools to get him, more tools to get him off the top platform, and you have better tools once you've taken over the top platform.
Yeah, I think I strictly try to win neutral from the ground, so...
And yeah, that's like one of my
opportunities.
Biggest rules in the matchup, is if Fox puts himself above you, do not play. Always just move horizontal. Like, do not play it. It's like super losing. If anything, you always kind of want to be falling. Like,
right.
Just because like it gives you the laser mix-up, and that's what makes Falco strong.
Never thought of it that way.
But yeah, but there's like a reason why Foxes are always just like, oh, just fall on Falco, full hop on him, drop on platform on him. It's because he doesn't have these great rising mix-ups. But as long as you don't let Fox full hop on you and drop on you and stuff like that, and you're always kind of in this dropping position of like strength, then it's a lot better. In a spot like
kinda
this,
like Puff.
Wait, what do you mean by how's it like Puff?
Because it's like really, it's not great if she's coming down from above. I think, I don't know. It's like kind of better if you're coming down on her.
Yeah, I feel like against Puff you can kind of make both work. Like, I think she's just not as strong as Fox, but
yeah, I mean Fox is better, but
yeah, because with Puff, a lot of times you don't even really want to necessarily come from above just because of the up air. It's almost the opposite, but you can kind of get away with whatever against Puff.
Just because shows what I know about Puff.
It's just because of the up air rest thing, Like, you usually want to be below her because, like, what is she gonna do? Fair, back air, everything just gets CC'd, Nair gets CC'd, and then like up tilt goes through all of it, back air goes through all of it. A lot of times it's better to be below Puff than coming down on her. But okay, so let's see. I was gonna mention something that happened back here, I think. Yeah, so a lot of times in this position, this is when you want to use either top plat or side plat. Like, don't forget that these are like massive tools for like laser stuff,
Definitely don't do that.
Yeah, so like you can go here. I like this spot here, and And then, like, from this spot, if you see this, you can just shield drop laser or run off here and turn around laser, and you have, like, a nice laser position from, like, a position of, like, safety. Okay. Ledge dash shine, probably better there. Okay. Let's see. Not a huge fan of this down air in the combo. Would have liked to see...
Yeah, I should have just let him land.
Up air or cross up shine, or tech chase, etc. And yeah, even like right here, I kind of would like to see, like, it's not that you have to do it right here, but just don't forget that right here you can literally just like full hop waveland off top plat, you know? Like you can just do full hop waveland, turn around laser, or full hop waveland and then drop laser or drop down air, or run off waveland off of here, back air, waveland off of here, reverse laser. Like if you treat the platforms as if they're not yours to use, you just limit the amount of, like, what does Falco have that deals with Fox? He has from the ground, grounded options or short hop options. That's it. Whereas if you waveland off plat and you waveland off this plat, it's like you basically get like 2 different air dash heights. Like you get a complete mix up on like the timing that you're coming down and the height in the air. Like Falco never is at this height, like this platform height. He's never at this height from like a short hop or a full hop. Whereas like you can be at this height, you can be at this height. It's like this is basically Fox's like full hop height. So if you just use waveland off platforms, Falco basically has Fox's full hop on this stage, and getting stuff like full hop double jump, waveland off, fast fall back air, or fast fall laser, or fast fall laser, or it's not waveland off laser this way, or waveland off back air this way. It's just like suddenly you have 20 times the movement options and 20 times the attack angles and the defense angles of playing like basically like you're on like a tiny FD, you know?
Mm-hmm. So when you're at that range and like that close range, and you've breathed it before where like Fox is shielding and you're like pretty close, you would have just went to the top platform there? Because I'm always just like, oh, Fox is shielding, I'm just gonna run at him and try to win some kind of on shield game mix-up.
Normally if I laser and I get Fox to shield, I'll dash dance because I like the feeling of pressure where like I'm basically like waiting for Fox to try to get scared of my aerial or counter my aerial.
Right.
I don't really like to push in on Fox that much. Even like shield pressuring Fox, when I get a shield pressure on Fox, I'm like, okay. You know, like it's not going to get that much. He has shine out of shield. It's really scary. Like, most of the time I like to let him just sort of sweat in his shield, and then I try to get him to move out of shield. And these platform movements are basically like alternate dash dances. Like, a lot of times I describe Fox's full hop as a vertical dash dance. You know, kind of like dash back, dash in. Fox's full hop is like dash up and then fall in. It's kind of like the same in, like, out-in motion. Mm-hmm. And, like, so... And Falco has that with his full hop, but the platforms just make it so much crazier. Alright, so let me finish
because I keep running into him, and it just, like...
I'm going to finish this VOD really quick, and then just go into Dolphin for one more second and just show you the exact thing I'm talking about so that you have something to reference. And yeah, I think you're actually moving around pretty well, but you're not going for like the platform control on this stage like you need to be. And so it's creating a situation where like your stalemates are sort of all on the back foot. Like every time Fox is jumping around throwing out moves, and then like you're like, okay, I avoided your move, and you're like, I'm kind of at a disadvantage, you know? And that's the reason for that is because you're not using the platforms appropriately. So it's like, and I know we basically spent like an hour just talking about this matchup on Yoshi's, but
well, you know, I don't know shit about Yoshi's, so it's pretty helpful.
And a lot of times this is the Fox counter pick, so this might be the difference between, you know, clutching a set or not. So basically it's like, yeah, if I jump here, this is it. I'm here, and I have like this, or I have this. That's a pretty limited range, especially with Falco not being super duper fast. Like if you look, like I kind of occupy a very limited space of like this range above the ground. And then if I full hop, I'm like, wow, I'm huge range above the ground, like, or double jump, like, wow, like, Falco is like, Fox is just gonna dash dance and be like, oh, you're kind of at a big range, and you can get a lot of stuff like this, too, like that. But this gets way stronger when you have it mixed up with, going up here or wave landing off of here. So yeah, I do this a lot, and I do this threat a lot. I do this on pretty much every stage. But I get like this sort of threat. My bad. I played too much Fox last night. But yeah, I get this, and then you can also use these for lasers. And it'll just automatically shoot the laser in the right direction after the wave land. So if you have that, and then you have something like this, and this you have to like wave land off and then go back to the left. Like otherwise it'll shoot it like this. So you have to just put it back, but it's like, yeah, you have this, and then you have this. So like that spot where I got Fox, or you got Fox to shield, and it was something like, you get this here, and then I would do something like, it's like if you laser Fox here and you do this, yeah, it's not bad, but it's not as safe, because what if I do this, and then he just like takes laser and he's like, nair, But if I do this, and then I do this, if he does that nair, he gets hit. So, because it's like laser, and then he does nair, and I do bam, and I hit him, and I get this like so often. Or I do this, and then he nairs in, and I get this. Or honestly, this happens a lot too, where literally it's something like, oops, it's literally something like that, where I get like that. Like, right. This happens so often just because I'm using the platform, and Fox is like, oh, and then he just gets beat up. And so it's like,
is it fair to summarize your primary strategy as trying to bait Fox to mess up? Create an advantage state for yourself?
It's not as much about messing up. It's more about the fact that, like, I am going to set up a very long neutral game with lasers, which, like, my primary goal is just to not let Fox get me. And I'm just like, okay, like, you can't get me because I did this, and then I went to, so I did this, then you went to here, and then I did this, and then I came off here with this, and then I went up here, and then I did this, and then I waited a second, and I came down, and I did this, and I'm like, okay, you're not going to get me. And then while Fox is moving around, and he's trying to, like, kind of chase me and figure out how to get in on me, he's a lot of times going to get hit by, like, something like that. Or he'll like, I'll do, like, he'll get hit by this down here. And it's not as much like a mistake as much as you want Fox to try to, like, take the mix-up. You want him to be like, okay, like, like,
for him.
You want him to think there's a mix-up where I do this, and he thinks there's a mix-up, so he's like, ugh, and he just gets hit, And it's like, he cannot go for that mix-up. He can just wait. But what does that get him? It just made him take a laser damage. He didn't gain anything because he didn't take the mix-up. And so you want him to be like, if he takes mix-ups to try to hit you, a lot of times you're going to just be in a position to hit him. And if he doesn't take the mix-ups, you're just going to kind of keep moving around until you get, like, something, like, I'll just move around a lot, and then I'll get something like this. Oops, I accidentally tap jump. And I'll move around, and then I'll do this, and then I'll get, I'll get something like that, where I get this laser, and I get a grab. Obviously, most people aren't spot dodging there immediately, but I'll get something like that, and then I will go in and do stuff sometimes, but, what about, like, stuff like, if I'm running around and I'm getting all these lasers, and then I just get, like, something like this, Like, I get kind of like a safe-ish laser. Let's say I lasered him, and then I get, like, kind of like this, but not like, not like this, because a lot of times he can, like, wave dash punish it or something. But if I just get something like this, and then like, this doesn't feel super nice for the Fox, right? Like this, like.
Yeah, you're just going crazy on him.
Yeah, that's how he's gonna feel. And so it's like, yeah, exactly. So it's like, as long as I'm moving like this, and I'm moving around, and I'm doing this type of thing, like, sheesh, suddenly Falco's all over the place, like, like, totally throwing out all these crazy mix-ups on Fox, but, like, whenever Fox tries to reach out and get you, you're just in a safe spot lasering and moving around on the platform. And so, your goal is to basically make a spot where you're like, I don't like reaching for Fox, so I defend myself with laser, and then if the Fox wants to get you and they're like, reach, 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 you just murder him, because you've been setting up ways to kill Fox for reaching. And if the Fox is smarter and the Fox goes, okay, I can't get in on you, but you can't get in on me, then what you do is you just keep doing it and looking for little openings. The Fox doesn't have a way to, like, get an advantage because Fox doesn't have laser. But you have laser. So as you're moving around, you're gonna find little frame advantages with the lasers that you can use to, like, get an approach. Or you finally get Fox to shield, you know? Like, I'll do something like this. So let's say I've been running around and doing these lasers for, like, a while, you know? And then I'll get this, and then maybe I just do this, and then I do that after, like, a while. You know, like, and then I'll get this, and then go back to the chillin'. And so, like, you do need to, not that you need to, if the Fox is playing super, super well and safe and everything, it's true that this, like, laser camp, look for the shine, look for the punish type thing isn't gonna get them. But it's like an even or better thing. As long as you're not getting hit by their stuff, and every laser has the potential to give you a pressure, eventually I find a point where the Fox feels predictable. And it's hard to tell you exactly when, but eventually there's, like, a point where, like, we're kind of camping each other, and eventually I can tell that maybe they get put in a spot they don't really like, maybe in the corner, or something like this, and I can tell that I've got them kind of here, and, like, let's even say that, you know, I do this, and then I'm kind of doing, like, I kind of do this, and then maybe I come up here and I do this, and, like, the Fox just saw me kind of go up here and do this, you know? So the Fox, maybe for whatever reason, I just get the sense that the Fox doesn't want a full hop to platform. And I'm like, you know what, I feel like you're coming out here, so I'll maybe, you know, make a little read, or I'll make a little, like, something where I go, like, oh, and I'll do this, and I'll kind of do this, and then back off, and then I'll do maybe this, maybe you fall for this, or maybe this, or maybe I do like this, and then I get them. So you will get opportunities, but it's kind of like a feeling of, like, I'm just gonna play this super safe game, and if you give it to me, that's great. And once you match my super safe game, we're playing the super safe game I want, where eventually I'll get you. That is, like, the plan.
Right. Yeah, I feel like my position is just my position over time on the map is just really predictable, and I'll choose moves at similar positions. So, like, you know, a lot of the time if you're, like, watching me, I'll just, like, you know, they'll beat the startup of my laser because I'll always laser in a certain spot, and they'll pick that up, and, like, it's really easy to hit me because I'm always doing the same thing in the same area. But this is, like, you're mixing up your position, and that, like, throws off your timing as well. So,
and every time I'm mixing up my position, I'm trying to do it in a way that, like, is kind of unhittable by Fox. Like, like moving to the platform and creating, like, well, if you try to hit me, maybe I shield drop shine, or I have a good position to laser you from, which covers, you know, Fox trying to come in on the ground, or something like that. And so, and when Fox is above you and he's trying to come down, you're like, oh, I'll just, you know, move out of the way and then continue the plan. And so, what I really wanted to see you start doing right now, dude, this person, I don't know who's going off on Messenger right now, but, sorry. But, so the plan I really want you to do is focus on this safe play, and focus on, like, trying to use the platforms and the mobility to create, like, solid, safe positions for yourself where you don't feel like you're on the back foot from, like, a giant full hop or something. And when you get hit out of it, to sort of take a look. Like, that was basically how I learned the matchup, was I'm going to just play this super safe game, and when Fox hits me out of it, I'm going to look at why and try to fix that. And eventually I got to a point where I'm really hard to crack. Like, it's very difficult for a Fox to crack open my Falco now. And because of that, they usually get forced into a little bit of a slower game and get lasered like 50 times a match, and it starts, you know, that's very stressful for the opponent. When I'm playing against a Falco and they won't let me in and they just keep peppering the lasers, it's very stressful and frustrating. So I know there's like a lot more we can go over in the future. I did notice that your punish has improved a bit, so that's good. Keep working on that, and I want to see really this like mobility shift, and also like you need to have faith in this mobility and laser pattern system, such that when you are playing hacks and he is really scary, you can just do these patterns without being like, which Fox am I playing? Is he good enough to suddenly get over to get me? You're just like, Fox physically cannot harm me if I do this laser full hop to platform or whatever, you know? And getting that confidence, I think, will help a ton in the matchup.
Yeah, I think up until this point, I'd kind of just go for a mix-up that I didn't really feel was in my favor and hope it would work out.
Yeah,
And,
that's
always
the
going on
normal
deck.
way to play the matchup, I would say. And hopefully, you know, maybe you can be the beginning of a new wave of people not playing like that.
We'll see. Well, thanks for the help.
Yeah, sounds good. Let me know when I'm definitely excited. I really like going over Falco Luigi. So when you have another set of that, let me know and we can go over that.
Yeah, I wish you could have seen this one. It was
Yeah,
really,
unfortunate.
really wild. But
Sometimes tragedy strikes. We'll just keep moving forward and deal with it. But hopefully this lesson helped you out. I think it definitely gives you some really good stuff to work on.
yeah. All
And
right, thanks.
good luck, man. We'll talk more later.
Yeah, see ya.
All right, peace.